The mass adoption of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies continues to rise. Today's episode, we're going to be talking about a lot. We're going to be talking about the China mine crackdowns and what actually happened and how this has been an amazing case study for the resiliency of Bitcoin. We're going to be talking about how nearly 4,000 institutions in Germany are now allowed to allocate up to 20% of their portfolios to Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies. We're going to talk about a British banking giant Barclays that banned all crypto-related payments to Binance Exchange. We've got a ton of other cool stuff. We have a lot of news that I gotta catch you up on from the weekend, so stay tuned in today's episode. What's up, guys? My name is Adam Winnig, and if you like cryptocurrencies, then go ahead and like, subscribe, turn on the post notifications. It's really going to help me out. It's also going to help everybody in the crypto space. It's also going to help this space grow and get more awareness. So if you want the crypto space to grow, then go ahead, like, subscribe, turn on post notifications. Okay, with that being said, we're going to take a look at what's happening. We're going to take a quick look at the charts and then get into the news of what's happening. And we can see that Ethereum's up about 3% today, BNB up 6%. We see some DeFi coins like Uniswap up 14%. We also see like DeFi coins like Aave up nearly 24% on the day. We saw PancakeSwap up 10%, Maker up 11%. A lot of interesting things happening. AVAX up 14.37%, and we saw Thorchain up 22%, and Synthetics, SNX, up nearly 30%. Why is this all happening? The DeFi space continues to grow. A lot of the crap meme coins are down still, which is good, and some of these legit projects are really continuing to flourish or starting to flourish. With that being said, let's take a look at the total crypto index before diving into the news. We can see here that price has been quite boring for the past little over a month now. At this point, we're just in this range-bound trading here. We look to probably retest this $1.6 trillion mark is what my guess would be. If we take a look at what's happening with Bitcoin, again, just kind of this volatility compression pattern. To me, it really seems like a massive accumulation pattern. We can see here on the SGA, the histogram has really started to grow upwards. We also see it flattening off, looking like we may get a cross and a color change there. On Ethereum, same thing kind of happening. Ethereum leading all altcoins, same sort of thing. We do see the histogram growing up on the daily. Looks like it could be another accumulation phase here. It looks like we could have a really, really strong end to the year if I were to guess, especially with everything that's happening. So let's get in and let's cover that. We have a $55 billion hedge fund, Marshall Wass, that is to start investing in crypto and stable coins. This is just another sign of the mass adoption, and eventually everyone is going to need to get exposure to the cryptocurrency industry. We just see it happening all the time. People allocating small portions of their portfolio, growing portions of their portfolio to Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies. We recently had this China crackdown, right? That basically proved that Bitcoin is an unstoppable machine. Which is really interesting. So basically 65% of all Bitcoin miners were located in China, and the Chinese Communist Party basically shut down almost all Bitcoin miners. And we did see a price drop, but then look at what's happened. I mean, miners have just located elsewhere. A lot went to Kazakhstan, some are coming to North America. They located elsewhere, and just it further proves that you can't ban Bitcoin. You can't shut down Bitcoin. It's just going to go wherever it wants to go. And I'm sure a lot of Chinese citizens too are just, they're finding unique ways to, keep their money in Bitcoin and put their money into Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies. So really just this whole case study was something that could have been like the most bearish news possible, has just further decentralized the Bitcoin mining network and made it actually even stronger. And just to take a look at, networks that China has banned in the past, they've banned Wikipedia, Google, Netflix, Instagram, Facebook, Reddit, Twitter, and they banned Bitcoin at this point. And, what happens? It doesn't really matter. China and communist countries, they ban everything that they don't have control over. Bitcoin is something that they don't have a control over, and we've seen that the network is just going to continue to flourish. If you don't follow us yet, by the way, on Instagram, we're posting some really cool, unique content there, Blue Edge Crypto, so go ahead and give us a follow there. Next, we see that Bitcoin exchange data suggests that sell-off peak has passed. So this was actually tweeted from Santiment that shows a lot of inflows and outflows exchange activity. And we can see that Sandeman's graph shows a sharp increase in the amount of Bitcoin held on exchanges in May. So right as price was dropping in May, there was a lot of Bitcoin held on exchanges. I've talked about this earlier, that whenever Bitcoin is moving to exchanges or Ethereum is moving to exchanges, generally that means that people are going to exchanges to sell. And, basically what we see is we see the supply of Bitcoin on exchanges at very, very, very low, which is another signal that, we could be really at this bottom before price continues moving on upwards, which we've seen it kind of inch on up the past couple days. We also have massive news coming from Vietnam. The Prime Minister of Vietnam orders central bank to conduct cryptocurrency pilot implementation. They're talking about exploring the practicability and the functions of central bank digital currencies. Again, every country around the world is kind of dipping their foot into central bank digital currencies. It's just an evolution of monetary technology that needs to happen. More and more countries will come out with their own cryptocurrency. It's just, a no-brainer. I don't think it does anything to solve the issue around the fiat money system. It's just going to be a digital fiat money system, so it doesn't nearly come as close as sound of money as Bitcoin. Nearly 4,000 German institution funds can now allocate 20% to crypto. This is massive. There was a law that passed in Germany allowing these massive German institutional funds to allocate 20% of their funds to cryptocurrencies. This is big time news. These special funds that are allowed to allocate up to 20% to crypto, there's nearly $2.23 trillion in these German funds. And an allocation of 20% of that would be about $376 billion pouring into the cryptocurrency space. We also saw British banking giant Barclays, one of the biggest banks in Great Britain, has banned payments to Binance, which Binance has been just taking a whacking. They've had investigations from Thailand, from the Cayman Islands, from Europe. So they've just been taking a whacking of scrutiny. And I think other exchange coins as a result have really been skyrocketing. We saw KuCoin's token skyrocketing, other exchange tokens skyrocketing, but Binance is just getting a lot of heat from countries around the world. Also, by the way, if you've not downloaded this yet, go to blueedgecrypto.com/viral. blueedgecrypto.com/viral. This is our number one secret to finding viral altcoins before the internet does. If you're hearing about these altcoins on Facebook and Twitter, you're too late to the party. This is how you can find viral altcoins the minute they start going viral, so you can get ahead of the curve. It's a really interesting method. So if you're interested in seeing that, we wrote a free report for you. Just go to blueedgecrypto.com/viral and you can download that. Okay. Ukrainian eBank plans to offer Bitcoin trading in July. Again, this is just more of the mass adoption happening with Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies. It's just massive. This is a bank called Monobank that has completed their pilot integration with cryptocurrency trading platform. Also, this I believe the founder of this bank, he also disclosed substantial personal stake in Bitcoin, predicting that Bitcoin will hit 100,000 by 2022, which I think is a very conservative Bitcoin prediction. I think price will go a lot higher, but I think a lot of these guys will put, when it goes to the media, they'll put kind of their conservative predictions out there so they don't look dumb. So anyways, that's that. Here's another interesting thing. Bitcoin supply on exchanges shrinks to lowest levels since January. So I talked about this a little bit. This is the graph that I'm referring to. This shows the exchange supply. So how much exchange supply there is on exchanges. We can see it's hit like a really low point here. And this is definitely bullish news because it says that, people are moving their money off of exchanges into cold storage wallets for the long run. Bitcoin whales accumulate 60,000 Bitcoin in highest daily spike of 2021. This was something that happened yesterday or 2 days ago, I believe it was. But basically, Bitcoin whales holding between 100 and 10,000 Bitcoin accumulated 60,000 Bitcoins in a single day. And this was one of the largest accumulation spikes that we've seen. You can see it here on this graph, just a massive spike up as Bitcoin millionaires continue to pour money into Bitcoin. Willy Woo says Bitcoin, so yummy. Yum yum. So yes, this is also another bullish signal here that, we've had this price manipulation, smart money shaking out weak hands, giving them their Bitcoin for cheap. And we also do have the World Economic Forum saying that blockchain can help dismantle corruption. This is massive coming from the World Economic Forum. They basically said that the evaluation criteria could retroactively change or company bids altered. For example, blockchain can guarantee any change is public, right? The public ledger, the original information is retained, and there's a record of who made this change. And that's the beautiful thing about blockchain, is it makes things public, it makes things completely transparent, which we totally need in this horrible world of liars. Just kidding, not everyone's a liar. I think everyone is. Most people are actually good people. Just, some people, when they get power, they do some silly things. So with that being said, if this was helpful, go ahead and like, subscribe, turn on post notifications, and we'll continue making these videos. Also, make sure that you head on over to bluedgefinancial.com/crypto, become a member so you can stay up to date with everything, get access to our trade ideas and a whole bunch of other cool stuff. We're also coming out with the trading room. So if you'd like to trade crypto with somebody that's been trading it since it was a penny, that's coming out, I believe, next month. So a lot of exciting stuff happening for Blue Edge Crypto members. That's all for now. We will see you guys all tomorrow. Bye, everybody.